Hi, I'm Kelly Steele, fitness reporter with the Windsor Star. I have with me today Chris Uszynski, race director from Running Flat, and also on the weekends Amherstburg Marathon. Chris, it's been a couple days since our big win on Sunday. In case you're not aware, we had Meredith Fitzmaurice actually won the full marathon, and the kind of cool part of this story is Meredith was actually only signed up to do the half marathon. She ended up missing a turn and ended up on the marathon course and ended up being the first woman overall. Chris, can you tell us a little bit about what exactly happened that day?
Yeah, it was a unique day, that's for sure. It was the absolute perfect day to be running. And I remember getting a phone call because our radios were having all kinds of issues out on the course. And I got a phone call from one of our race officials midway down the in and out course. And I think what's really important is that people need to understand exactly how the course is laid out and why there's potential issues on it. I don't know if I can we show the back panel here. Granted, this is where the race starts as we come around. Both full marathon and half marathon start at a common start, and they come around. And as they come around through the fort, they come out onto Laird. And there's a short distance between Laird and then a little bit on Alma, where there's actually a break-off between the full marathon, which goes up and does an in and out, and then the half marathon, which continues around the course. Yet still a common course all the way in. The only difference is this in and out portion to make the other 21.1 kilometers. What happened with Meredith was, our understanding is she was wearing headphones and had the bib on the back, and we have a number of volunteers on this corner looking for the blank bib versus the marathon bib, which is bright blue, to shoot the marathoners up the course. She got through somehow in that pack and continued up the course. So I got a phone call off of one of our race officials who said, we have a half marathoner down here. She seems to be doing well. She looks good. And she's asking, now that she's on this course, could she possibly finish the 42K marathon? So, a couple things go through your head. Is there someone trying to cheat? We went through that with the various race officials on their bikes. They said no. They said there was no way she was equipped to run the full because she doesn't have a fuel belt, she doesn't have goo, she doesn't have her own bottle. She doesn't have those traditional telltale signs that a full marathoner would actually carry with them. And I said, but how does she look? And they said, she looks strong, she looks good. And I said, okay, then just keep your eyes on her throughout the course and make sure she actually completes the full course, and I will grant that she can go on to the 42K for a couple of reasons. One is, granted, the half was totally sold out for almost 2 months prior to the event, but the full wasn't. The full always fluctuates because of injuries, and we had 9 spots. So she was already out there. I made the decision as race director that let her complete the run. She ran the 42K. She completed the race. At that point in time, I had no idea if she would finish the race, be injured. I had no idea that she would actually win the race, causing this uproar in the running community. But the reality is, on the spot judgment, I made the call and I stand by it.
Well, and it is interesting too, because Meredith was a first-time marathoner. She actually was planning to run Detroit a couple weeks later, so this training run was supposed to be her half. She never intended to ever, and I'm sure she never once said to the guy on the bike that she thought she was going to win this. At that point, I think she was looking to just simply finish it.
Yep.
Now, since you made that call that day, there's been a lot of backlash. People have said, for one, it's precedent setting.
Yep.
People have said, no, she should be DQ'd and she should have her time under the half marathon. Now, if you had to make that decision again, would you still stick to the same decision?
Absolutely, I would stand beside it, and and again, I spoke to a number of my race officials who were on the course. We all conferred in a call that it was legitimate. She made the wrong turn. That there was no malice involved here, and I made the decision. I stand by it. And on several occasions since Sunday, because we started to see the backlash coming Sunday night into Monday, and of course this morning. What I do is I just polled a number of race directors that I know around the United States and Canada, and called like half a dozen yesterday. I was even speaking to Dave McGilvery this morning, a number of other race directors up with Boston. And I got to tell you, everyone that I spoke to is standing behind our decision to let her run, let her race, and let her win.
Including the Boston official said that to you?
I didn't get back. Dave didn't get back to me on that, but the guys from Toronto did. There's some race officials in London. Even in the blogs you saw this morning, there was a gentleman from the Brooklyn Marathon who also said that they would stand behind this decision. There's one from Maine. So, it is what it is. Congratulations. She ran one hell of a race. It's a marvel that she actually did what she did, and she should be commended for it.
And now you have a lot of people that are sitting there saying, well, what does Victoria Coleman think right now? Which I'm sure Victoria has gotten hold of you.
No, she hasn't.
No,
and I need to reach out to Victoria. See, here's the funny thing. What no one understands is that Victoria is actually a paid sponsor to the race. She's the president of a pharmaceutical company, and it's pretty tough to tell a sponsor that she didn't win. So, it's one of those things where I need to sit down with her and talk to her about it. I did talk to her after the race, and she asked me if I was going to let it stand, and I told her I would, because frankly, she ran the 42K. How do you not let that stand? And definitely, I think out of the thousands of comments I think I've seen in the last 48 hours, 99.9% are all in favor of that decision. There's always the percentage. There's always somebody out there who's not going to like your decision. Well, that's the way it goes. I'm sorry.
And I think you have to look at it that, like it or not, that day, Meredith Fitzmaurice was the fastest woman out on that course. She ran and started the same spot that Victoria did and all the other runners, and in the end, she was the fastest. So I think she deserves the win.
So do we. And we should celebrate that.
I just want to thank you, Chris, for coming and talking to us today, and great job on the marathon on the weekend. I ran it, and I thought it was fabulous. Great job.
Well, thanks for having me. All the best.